Good morning, children. In previous video, I explained about the meaning, importance and composition of atmosphere and some important gases like nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, their uses and importance, and about the importance of dust particles also. Now in this video, I am going to explain about the structure of importance, structure of atmosphere. First, you should know the meaning of atmosphere again. Atmosphere is the layer of gases, and the atmosphere also having the different layers. So, scientists has divided the atmosphere into major layers, and these division of layers are classified or on the basis of the thickness of dust particles. This division is based largely on the temperature and the dust particle variations which observed in the atmosphere according to their height. So these layers are the troposphere, the stratosphere, the mesosphere, the ionosphere and the exosphere. These are the different layers of the atmosphere. What are the different layers of the atmosphere? First one is the troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, ionosphere and the exosphere. So these layers are classified or divided on the basis of temperature variations and the dust particles. First one is the troposphere. The troposphere is the lowest layer just above the earth. The first layer of the atmosphere is the troposphere, and the temperature and the pressure fall with height, and here the temperature and the pressure is very high, and the temperature decreases at the rate of 65 degree Celsius for every 1 kilometer ascent. Means as we go high, so after 1 kilometer 6.5 degree Celsius temperature is decreasing. 6.5 degree Celsius temperature is decreasing, and this rate of change in temperature with increase in altitude. Altitude means height above the sea level. Altitude means height above the sea level and is known as the lapse rate. So what is the lapse rate? Means the temperature. When the temperature decreases at the rate of 6.5 degree Celsius for every 1 kilometer ascent. Ascent means as we go high. So the temperature, how many temperature? 6.5 temperature degree Celsius decreases every 1 kilometer, and this rate of change in temperature with increase of altitude is known as the lapse rate. And the troposphere is the densest means very close to each other. Here the temperature is very high and the dust particles are very close to each other. So the troposphere is the densest zone of the atmosphere, and the 3/4 of the atmosphere is found within 11 kilometer of the surface of the earth. 3/4 of the atmosphere. 3/4. What is that thickness of the atmosphere? So 3/4 of the atmosphere is found within 11 kilometer of the surface of the earth, and in this layer the most valuable gas that is the oxygen is found. Okay, so in this layer only the oxygen gas is found which need to breathe. And the average thickness of the troposphere is 13 kilometer, means altitude or height from the surface of the earth. So what is the average thickness of troposphere? The average thickness of troposphere is 13 kilometer, and the thickness varies from about 8 kilometer at the poles to 18 kilometer near the equator. And its thickness also changes from about 8 kilometer at the pole to 18 kilometer near the equator. And the troposphere is also known as weather making zone. Troposphere is also known as weather making zone. So another name of troposphere is weather making zone. And why the troposphere is known as the weather making zone? Because all the physical process of weather like wind, clouds, storms, rainfall, mist, fog and hail, all physical process occur in this layer of the atmosphere. So the troposphere is known as the weather making zone. Why? Because all the physical process of weather like wind, clouds, storms, rainfall, mist, fog and hail, everything, all the physical process of weather occur in this layer. And the upper limit of troposphere is called tropopause. Upper limit of the upper limit means upper layer or upper limit of the troposphere is called the tropopause. What is tropopause? Tropopause is the upper limit of the troposphere. Clear? Second one is the stratosphere. Stratosphere is just above the troposphere. Troposphere is the lowest layer, and above the troposphere, that is, there is the stratosphere, and it extends up to 50 kilometer. And here the temperature is also constant for a few kilometer to begin, and here also the temperature is decreasing, and it is clear and dry zone which largely devoid to weather phenomena, and there are no clouds and no storms, and there are no clouds and no storms, and these factors make it the ideal zone for jet plane to fly in. Okay, so in this stratosphere there are no clouds and no storms. In this stratosphere there are no clouds and no storms. So these factors make the ideal zone for jet planes to fly in. And in the lower part of the stratosphere, between the altitude of 15 and 30 kilometer, and there is a thin layer of the gas, that is ozone gas. So ozone gas is found in the stratosphere. Ozone gas is found in stratosphere between the altitude of 15 and 30 kilometer. Altitude of 15 and 30 kilometer, there is a thin layer of the gas, that is ozone gas layer, and ozone plays a very important role in our life. Why the ozone plays a very important role in our life? Because it absorbs harmful ultraviolet rays which raises from the sun, and the ozone layer is being destroyed by the release of chlorofluorocarbon, CFCs. The ozone layer is being destroyed by the release of chlorofluorocarbons into the atmosphere, and this CFC means chlorofluorocarbon, this gas is a valuable industrial chemical which is used in refrigerators and home insulations, plastic foam, and throw away food containers. Okay, so this chlorofluorocarbon gas is used in refrigerator. So you should know which gas is filled in our refrigerator or in our fridge, that is the chlorofluorocarbons. and other home appliances also, plastic foam and throw away food containers, and jet planes that can fly in the stratosphere also. Jet plane also uh, fly, which fly, they also release CFCs. They also release this gas, and thus effort are being made globally to reduce the use of CFCs. So CF is valuable as well as it is very harmful also. And the upper limit of the stratosphere is called stratopause. Upper limit means upper layer. Upper layer of stratosphere is also called stratopause. So which gas is found in the stratosphere? Between 15 to 30 kilometer, that is ozone. A thin layer is a thin layer of gas found in the stratosphere, that is the ozone gas layer, and that ozone plays a very important role in our life because it absorbs harmful ultraviolet rays, and ozone layer protect us from ultraviolet rays, and this ozone layer is being destroyed. Ozone gas or ozone layer can be destroyed by the release means which has come out, release of the chlorofluorocarbons into the atmosphere, and this chlorofluorocarbon is also valuable for industrial chemicals which is used in our refrigerators, home insulations, plastic foams and throw away food containers. And jet plane that fly in the stratosphere also release, jet plane which fly in the stratosphere, they also release CFCs. So this also useful as well as harmful also. And this upper limit of the stratosphere is called stratopause. Now the third layer is the mesosphere. The third layer of the atmosphere is called mesosphere, and this lies above the stratosphere. So first layer is the troposphere, second layer stratosphere, and third mesosphere. And here the temperature also decreasing once more, and the meteoroids like a rock fragments traveling in space. So in the mesosphere, rock fragments or the meteoroids traveling in the space and burn up when they passes through this part of the atmosphere. When they passes, they burn, and some meteoroids survive their journey through the atmosphere and strike surface of the earth, and they are called meteoroids, and they are called meteorites. And the upper limit of mesosphere is called the mesopause. The upper limit of the mesosphere is called the mesopause. Next layer is the thermosphere. The thermosphere is the part of atmosphere that lies beyond the mesosphere. So after mesosphere there is a thermosphere, and thermosphere has divided into two layers, that is ionosphere and the exosphere. Okay, so thermosphere is divided into two layers, that is ionosphere and the exosphere. And the ionosphere is the lowest part of the thermosphere, and it lies above the mesosphere, and it extends from 80 to 640 kilometer. And here the temperature rises sharply, and here the temperature rises, and the ultraviolet radiation from the sun break the gas molecules in this layer into electrically charged ions. Therefore the ionosphere is full of electricity charged ions. So ionosphere is a full electricity charged ions, and which enable wireless transmission. Okay, so here the ions which are found in the exosphere, they are completely electrically charged, and the wireless transmission is enabled to pass, and the radio waves transmitted from the earth are reflected back to the earth by these ions, because the ions which are found in the ionosphere, they are electrically charged. And the upper limit of the ionosphere is called ionopause, and the exosphere also lies beyond the ionosphere. After ionosphere there is a exosphere, and it is the uppermost layer of the thermosphere. And the upper limit means upper layer of the exosphere is difficult to determine, and it merges with the interplanetary space. And here the temperature is estimated to be beyond 5500 degree Celsius, and here the air is very thin, and the density is also very low, and only the lighter gases like helium and hydrogen are found here. So in this video I explained about the different structure of the atmosphere, or about the different layers. So what are the different layers of the atmosphere? Troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, and the thermosphere. And thermosphere divided into two layers. They are ionosphere and the exosphere. Now your homework, you have to learn this in brief, and as well as this glossary. What is the meaning of isolation? Incoming solar radiation, or the part of radiation received by the earth. Terrestrial radiation, the energy reflected from the surface of the earth. And greenhouse gas, a gas that traps heat in the atmosphere. And the global warming, excessive warming of the earth due to the greenhouse effect. Ozone layer, the layer of ozone in the lower part of the stratosphere. CFC, chlorofluorocarbon, a chemical that destroys ozone. And the lapse rate of decreasing in the temperature with increase in altitude. So now your homework, you learn glossary. Thank you. Have a nice day.